How many of you went to the climate change conference last week and took part in the whole discussions? Anyone? Some of you? Good. This is why we're doing this, and this is the view I see every day from my house. We're trying to stop all of that shit from going into the air. So I want to talk about carbon neutral buildings, how we have the opportunity to make our world livable for the future. This is a carbon neutral vestibule. Actually, this is a friend of mine who took a picture up in the north where the acuteness of climate change is dire, and the ability to make that change is slowly disappearing on us. So this is a bit of a downer presentation, sorry. But only just now architects are really talking about this seriously. This is the cover of Architect magazine. Ian stole the slide already. Thanks a lot, Ian. But this frickin' breaks my heart when I see perfectly good buildings ripped apart, not even one bit of this being recycled, not one. Do you recognize this is granite? Like, they paid extra for that when they built it 30 years ago. Does anyone remember this building? So this is a building we had the fortunate opportunity to not do that, and we called it a Reimagine project. So we're really interested now in helping our clients really realize the most sustainable building is one that already exists. So really, we do that by showing them there is still value even though this thing is leaking energy like a sieve. This is a thermal scan showing some of the weaknesses that we mapped out in this building, and then we go to work trying to figure out how to fix it. So we pretty much thought, let's strip all of this exterior away, come down to the concrete structure, and rebuild it from the inside out. The really fun part was, when we first got this project, the developer said 2/3 of the occupants are still going to be in that building. It's like, oh crap. So how do we do that? We first had Associate Engineering as a primary tenant. They didn't renew their lease when they heard we're going to rip apart this building and start over. So we had more space to work with. And our developer found a new client, WSP, and we actually went about fixing the building by redoing its mechanical electrical systems. And the biggest part of it was really looking at the facade or the outside walls and how to really strip away what was causing grief. Not all of those panels were actually going to fall off the building, thank goodness. But again, when we took off the panels, there was no insulation at all in this building. So this was built 32 years ago, not a single shred of insulation. So you see the white wall behind that? That's where we hoarded off the building so the tenants who were still in there could remain, even during winter. And yeah, seriously. We started to reclad that. Here you see the white wall hoarding it off, and we actually added this bow as an increase of space for our client to make a little bit more money to pay for these renovations. So the key part of actually putting in new glass is making it more transparent. By making it more transparent, you get more light in the building. By getting more light in the building, you don't have to use as much electric light. And that saves you a heck of a lot of operation costs. We actually saved a lot of the materials that are already existing in that building. We saved the ceilings, we saved the ductwork, but we refreshed all of the boilers, the air handling unit, and see those strips of metal on top of the concrete panels? That's where we furred it out so we could add 4 inches of spray-on insulation to actually make this building comfortable in the winter. So by doing that, we actually saved 54% of the energy costs month over month, year over year for this building. Remember those strip windows? We took out all of those crappy windows and put in triple glazing, which is 3 panes of glass sandwiched together to increase the performance by a magnitude. So here is a good shot of how you could see more transparency, lighter colored glass. So the building kind of has this shinier effect. Really the whole idea is really to make the building more healthy for its occupants as well as energy efficient for its operator. Here it is in full Tron mode. A lot of people kind of criticize that. If you can remember one of the earlier renderings, we actually wanted those to have a light glow around the window, but our client kind of got carried away with his LED controller. So anyhow, one of the most important parts of this is telling this story. So now we actually created a magazine called Reimagine, so we can get other developers, other building owners, and other clients to really get behind the whole idea. The most sustainable building is the one that already exists. This is the view from our office rooftop. Some of you might have been there. From here, I can see at least 6 buildings that have that same problem. 6 buildings that need insulation, better glass, better mechanical systems. In fact, almost all of these buildings are over 30 years old. And yeah, and you kind of go, what the heck are they doing making the world's largest barber pole there? But anyway, if we are able to do at least half of these buildings, we then have the opportunity to reduce our carbon emissions, make the world more sustainable, and make it a far more happier place for all. Thank you.